Do you know how awesome you are? Honestly, really, do you know just how absolutely awesome you are? Because if you've forgotten, this is day 85 of my 90-day mental, emotional, spiritual well-being series, and you're about to remember. So let's have a think about all the things that you've done and achieved and actually haven't acknowledged yourself for. This is a really powerful exercise, and there'll be things in your life that you've done that are very memorable, because why do you remember things? Why and how do we remember some things and not some others? Well, how memory is created is that essentially there's a lot of emotion created around an event. So an intense emotional feeling. It's a significant event. There's an intensity around how you felt about it, which is why you remember it. So you may remember your wedding day. You may remember your first kiss. You may remember the birth of your first child or all your children. You may remember how you feel around a certain person if you had an argument with them. Okay, so whenever there's been an intense amount of feeling, and that could be from love and joy to being terrified, being in a state of despair, being worried. Okay, so whenever we've had these really intense emotional states and there's something that's going on that's resulted in that emotion, then it tends to stick in our mind. It tends to stay in our mind as like a warning, or as something that we can go to if we want to feel happy again, or whatever it might be. But there's a significant emotional event, and those things we tend to remember. So if we think about things that we've done which we're proud about, okay, so you may have accomplished any kind of a goal, so whatever kind of goal it was. So maybe it was around passing some exams, maybe it was around passing a driving test, maybe it was a weight loss goal or a muscle increase goal, maybe it was you wanted to learn to swim, you learned to swim. Okay, maybe it was getting that job, you worked so hard and you got that job. Ooh. So you would feel proud about that, okay? So because you worked your socks off for it, you did the prep, you did what needed to be done, and you went through some kind of test, some kind of proving of yourself, and as a result, you got the outcome that you wanted, and you rightly felt proud. Okay, you might have actually won a physical award or a certificate, a medal, and that's like a physical, tangible reminder. It's like an anchor. When you look at that, or you feel it, or you touch it, then it just reminds you of that achievement, of that goal, which is why certificates are given, because it's a physical, tangible thing that you can just hold and pick up, and it will just remind you of the work that you put in and the effort that you put in to achieving that goal. Oh my goodness, the sirens are going off. So whenever there is something that you've done which has put in a significant amount of effort, you're gonna remember that, and you're gonna feel proud about it, and you'll remember those. And there will be some areas of your life where you've beaten yourself up. Okay, other people might see it as, wow, that's amazing, that's a fantastic achievement, so proud of you, and you kind of know it is, but you had a higher standard, had a different standard. You felt that you could have done a bit better. You felt that there was a sense of failure even around that. So what are those moments? Now, the reason why I think it's really important to think about this at this stage, by the way, if you haven't seen the other 84 videos, go back and watch them, because we're coming to the end of the 90-day challenge, my 90-day challenge anyway, and this is about just, these last few videos are just about really acknowledging how far you've come. So if you did something and you feel that you fell short of what you wanted to achieve or what was expected of you, or you devalued, it was brilliant, but you devalued how you felt about it, then that's something that we can work on. And that's another event that we can add to the other amazing events, the other awesome events of you feeling proud and you achieving. So this might take a bit of time, because we're not necessarily going to get access to those events straight away. Our mind, the chatter in our mind, is either going to dismiss it or say, well, yeah, I did feel kind of proud about that, that's not one. Or you're going to think, really, is that a thing? I'm not really sure that that's something that I can feel proud about. So the difference is, how to get that distinction is celebration. Celebration. So did you celebrate that thing? Looking back now to who you were, okay, so if you go back however many years it was, and you go to that event, and you look now back at that event and you think, I would celebrate that. I would celebrate that, okay? Not necessarily as you, because you can disassociate. So if that was somebody else that you know, or somebody else that you care about, or even looking at your younger self, can you now, as who you are now, look back to that time, and you might have then not celebrated it. You might not have achieved it, expressed your sense of achievement at that time, okay, because of whatever resources you had and however you felt about yourself at that time. But now looking at yourself back then, can you celebrate it? Can you go, wow, actually, that's pretty awesome. That's actually very pretty cool. So pat on your back for that event then, okay? So I would like you, I'm going to set you a little task, is take some time, actually block off some time to do this. Not only is it a very powerful exercise, but you are going to have a whole bank of new resources and learnings and breakthroughs by doing this. Because we all need to have breakthroughs in our life. We all need to know, we all need to have those reminders of our brilliance, of our awesomeness, because we can be our own worst enemy. We can tear ourselves down before anybody else does. So we need to bring ourselves back up. We need to think of those moments and of those times in our life, which actually was pretty awesome, was pretty very, very cool. And we didn't celebrate it then because we didn't think it was good enough. We didn't think we were good enough. We think that it needed to be of a certain standard or whatever it might be. Or we just didn't think it was very important, didn't value it enough, okay? But now looking back, you kind of think, oh, actually, that was amazing. So it could be something like, you might have won second prize. Hello, that's a prize, okay? So you might have beaten yourself up for not winning first prize and you've dismissed it. Actually, you were acknowledged. There were 3 prizes and you won one of the 3 prizes. Okay, so let's go back there. Let's pick that up. Let's celebrate that. Let's champion what you did at that time. Okay, you might have got certain grades. Okay, and you're at that time you're like, oh my God, it wasn't this. I really wanted this. Let's have a look at what the work you did to get that. Okay, let's celebrate that because it could have been something else. Okay, and this is so important to just look at those. What are some health habits? Okay, so you might not acknowledge the fact that you did a 3-day juice detox because that was way back when, and you know it didn't make a massive difference to your life. But hey, you did a 3-day juice detox. You were off everything else, and you completed that for 3 days, for 1 day. We have to find moments in our life which we didn't celebrate at that time, but we can celebrate now. We can acknowledge now and just really build them up. This is really building up your own self-efficacy, your own bank of awesome events in your life. Go back as far as you need to. You know, really go back. Maybe if you're having trouble thinking of those times, a specific time, kind of chunk back your life. Maybe take it into decades and then piece it down into a year. What was happening in 2005? What did you do that year? Where were you working? Who were the people that were around? What did you look like? What kind of things were you doing? And just find a moment in that time. It might be a self-care habit. You might have always taken good care of your hair. I always have used really good products on your hair, and it wasn't really a thing to celebrate. But now, yeah, sometimes into the past, you're like, wow, I'm really glad I took care of my hair or my teeth or my skin. Okay, because had you not done that now, you wouldn't be celebrating that now. So go ahead, do the exercise. Okay, get down 10 things that you didn't celebrate in the past. You didn't feel it was worthy of celebration, of feeling proud of it. But now you can look back and go, wow, that was amazing. You are awesome. I'll speak to you in the next video.